is the second to the last class of Excel classes. I hope you guys have been learning and I hope it has been helping one way or another. Yeah, so back to what we're talking about, which is pivot table, which is basically on the perspective of analyzing data, which is basically on the perspective of getting into understanding how to use Excel to get the best out of the data you have. Now, for example, we have the sample data I just got here. It has date, region, salesperson, product, category, unit sold, unit price, total sales, payment method, customer types. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste this in the group chat. So, I mean, you guys can practice around with that. But I would move on around that. Let me just put that. Yeah. All right. Um, yep. Okay, so date, region, salesperson, product, category, unit sold, unit price, total sales, payment method, and customer type. So ideally, last week I was telling you guys about the fact of when you see data like this, the first thing that comes across your head is the questions you have, right? What makes a good analyst a good analyst is the ability to ask questions. The questions you have are the answers you give, right? So the better your questions, the better the outputs you're able to proceed as a data analyst. So you need to understand that before a data analyst is able to analyze the data, give a result to the data, give a feedback on the data, give insight from the data, he has to he should have questions in his or her head, right? Now, more or less like from those questions, he has found answers to those questions. Hence, it is now showing the stakeholders or the people that would actually see that data what they should see, right? So for example, now we have this data. I'm just trying to let you know how to approach data when you see it. For example, you have this data, it has a date, it has region. This is just example data, by the way. Date, region, salesperson, product, category, unit sold, unit price, total sales, payment method, and customer type. Now, basically, based on what I told you right last week, can you tell me the questions you have already basically looking at this? I'd like to hear your feedback. The same way we did last.
Yeah, you can ask what region has the most sales.
All right,
And
that's good.
you can also ask what method of payments was the highest.
All right. Okay. All right. Good. Thank
And
you.
what product sell the more? Was the
All right. That's good. That's good. Thank you.
You may also want
Well,
the best salesperson.
all right. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. Who else? Who else? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Can we look at average sales per region?
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah.
We asked about the profit.
There's no profits column here.
Profit here.
And also ask what customer do we have more new customers, or the most sales was from the returning customers?
That's very good. That's very good. That's good. What else?
We can also try to find out the most preferred method of payment.
Yeah. Yeah. What other thing? Is there any other thing you guys are saying?
You can also look at turnover based on products.
Do you mean like product performance?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That is what product is most patronized in various regions, and how to improve on other products that are not being patronized in that region.
All right. Nobody's talking about dates. Nobody's talking about category. Nobody's talking about units sold. That's the volume. because you need to realize that when you say units sold, that means how many. When you say total sales, that's value. Total sales is the value. Unit sales is the volume. Which means I think we need to realize that when you are a data analyst, or rather you as a data analyst, you need to pay much focus to the volume than the value, because if let's say for example, the price of my goods shoot up due to, let's say, just basically due to increase in cost of production and things like that, right? If, for example, my value before was, let's say my price before was 5 naira, right? And I was selling, let's say, I was selling, let's say, 4 products before, right? Automatically, that gives me 20 naira as my value, right? Because 5 times 4, 20. So that, let me repeat what I said. If, for example, before my products, the price of my product was 5 naira, and let me state something. When you hear prices of things, you need to realize that the cost of production has been inculcated into that particular price, right? So let's say my price of anything was 5 naira, right? And I'm selling four. I'm selling 4 of those things. That means I make 20 naira, correct? Now think about it, that if let's say for example my price shoots up to, like, let's say 8 naira, right? Now, if, for example, I sell 3 products, that's 8 times 3 is what?
24.
24. So that means that automatically the value is higher than what it was before, right? Is that correct? That means the value is higher than when it was 4 products at 5 naira, which means that what? I sold lesser volume, but I'm having higher value, which means I'm not making any profit. You need to realize that when you are referring to the ideals around volume and value, you can't determine how well a company is making profit just by their value, because your value can increase simply by prices increasing, right? But then you need to track, most importantly, your volume. Is my volume increasing? Is the unit sold increasing? Am I selling more or I'm not selling more? It's just the price increase in price that is making it seem so bogus and so big. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody's getting what I'm saying. Are you with me, guys?
Yes.
All right, so that's the ideal around when these are things you need to keep in your mind when you are analyzing. So let's say for example, let's go into analyzing this. So normally, as I told you guys, I will click on this particular aspect here. I click this to highlight everything, which is way safer. Then I click on insert, pivot table. I click on add this data to the data model, and I click. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, when I click on OK, can you see the pivot table fields by the right? Please, guys, confirm you can see the pivot table fields by the right and a blank sheet.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So as I said, right, I'm just going to teach you around pivot table, and I would go into just a little bit around dashboards, right? So ideally, most times I like to, rather, most times when I'm actually approached with analyzing data, I like to look at it from a bird eye view. Then from bird eye view, I begin to I'll like to take it all the way down, right? So let's say, for example, I like to match 2 columns together that I feel like are much insightful, and see what I can get from the both of them, right? So let's say, for example, I have region and I have sales, which seems quite to be an highlight, right? So what I can do is I can so this region here, right? Region, I can just click on region. Ideally, you can see it automatically took it to rows, right? But then you need to know where to, so I can drag it or I can click it. But it's better you know how to drag it so that you know, so you don't let Excel do it for you. Learn how to do it yourself. So that, because sometimes you might put it where you know it's not meant to be, and what happens just because you're depending on it, you're stuck, right? So now I have region here, right? And I told you guys about the fact that when you have numbers, sum or anything, numbers or anything, you put them in values, right? So I look for my total sales and I put it in what? Where? values.
Values.
Yeah. So what I can do is I don't want to just look at my total sales alone. I want to look at my units sold also. So I'll drag my units sold, put it on top of this. Right. So this is what I have here. So I have a summary of what is happening in the company by sum of units sold and what sum of what total sales. Now, on these ideals, you can see that let's take a little bit at some things. Right? So we can see that can you see what I was saying, guys?
Mm.
South sold 83, but what was their total sales? 5
5
million.
million,
North sold 70. What was their total sales?
6 point something.
So you can say that you could say that, oh, okay, these people are making more, but then these are things that needs to take in place. That's why I said let me look at the volume and the what and the value in itself. See, for example, East just sold 65 and they made 5.1, correct? But South sold 83 and they just sold 5 point what?
That's a lot.
5 million. Eh. So that
Better.
what does that tell you? What exactly does that tell you on a high level thing? What does that tell you? Can anyone tell me?
For that of the North, they have
No,
sold
no,
more.
not now. Just tell me what is happening with the South in comparison to what is happening in the East.
Is the price variation?
The price per unit sold is higher with North than the South. Though they send more turnover, but they have lesser total sales, which means that the price per unit article is higher in the
Okay,
North.
which means that it is possible that, or rather, it's probable that
Lower profit.
that's good. So it's possible that the South were selling goods that did not have higher prices. Is that correct?
Yes.
Exactly. That's good. So ideally you can see this. So now let's say for example I have East, sum of units sold, sum of total sales, right? I have this exactly like this. Let's say I wanted to sort it from highest to lowest, right? I'll just click on the first value here, right click on sort largest to smallest, and we have it like this, right? So in this sense, we have an idea of the largest to the smallest. So now we say that north, west, east, and south. And we note something that you don't have to do just based on this. If you want this to be the criteria, that means the first unit sold to be the criteria. You can also do it on sort largest to smallest. So you can see what has happened. It will use this one to hierarchy. So whatever hierarchy is doing here will automatically affect this. So you can see that this one has changed, right? So it depends on what you want to sort on. But for this example, let's just sort based on
So sorry,
largest. Yeah.
that means you're saying that with these filter column rows and values, we can have more than one
Yes,
criteria.
you can definitely you can. Yeah. 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 Thank you. So basically, right, so based on sorting, so I have this way like this. Now ideally most times this is where, let's say, a visualization comes into play, right? Let's say I have so you guys can give me a minute.
Yes, we're with you.
Hello guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about the interruption. Sorry, I was called for something. Yeah, so back to what I was saying, right? So I said that ideally, now looking at this, what visualization do you think will work best for this?
You can use
Pie chart.
bar chart.
Pie charts.
Am I going to stacked columns?
No,
But you need to think out. Don't forget that you need to think about the fact that this is how many values are you seeing there?
Three.
You're not exactly. You're using two values against a particular distance. So I don't think that will make sense. So what do you think?
Yeah, bar chart probably.
What do you say?
I said probably a bar chart will make sense a bit.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well done. Thank you for that, Queen. Yep. So, so let's say, for example, I do something like this. So what I can do is I can highlight this. So let me just highlight. I don't want to highlight the what's wrong with my mouse? I don't want to highlight the grand total. So I can just do insert, right? Recommended charts, and I can just do why is it not bringing this? Okay, because of the disparity in the numbers. Okay. Did you know why that's happening? Do you know why you cannot see the unit sold very well? Like let's say for example this. Can anyone tell me
Some
why? Can anyone tell me why?
Yeah, because the unit prices are smaller than their waste.
Exactly. Thank you very much on that. Thank you very much for that. I'm going. So basically, because they are smaller than they are very small and minimal. Right? Now let's do a bit of deep dive because we're trying to understand the data. We're trying to understand what's happening and trying to understand the basically sort of things, right? Now ideally we tend to always approach data based on this. Now you've seen it on a high level side. You've seen the fact of okay, what is happening in the north, what is happening in the west, what is happening in the east, what is happening in the south. You're getting familiar with the data from a bird eye view. You're getting familiar with the data, you're understanding the scope of the business from that bird eye view. But as data analysis, it doesn't stop there because you need to understand what happened in those regions respectively. Now you've seen what the business made total, which was 21.7, is that correct?
Mm.
Exactly. And you've seen what the various regions are contributing to that region, is that correct?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that means the next thing in your head is okay, if you look at it from a region perspective, let's look at it from a category perspective, right? So what I can do is I can just stick it. So I'm still on bird eye view, right? I can remove the region, take it away, right? And I will drag category to rows. See what happens. Can you see this?
Mm.
So now I have an understanding of the fact of what is actually bringing sales for the company.
Electronics.
Exactly. Thank you, Chinamara. Electronics is actually what a very big force to the company making their sales. Clothing is not exactly a big deal, is that correct? And furniture is, I mean, doing good. Off the top of my head, I would basically say that the reason why was it east or south? Which one had more volume but lower value?
Not
more volume.
east.
Oh, you see?
The east.
It was east to be good.
I'll
Was
do
it
the
the east? Are you
ratio
sure?
and then
No, it's not the east.
What was it?
And there's
Let me
lower
know whether
unit.
you guys are paying. Let me know whether you guys are paying attention. Was it the east or what was it? The region that had very high volume for low value.
where's the
That was a
south or west?
Was it south?
South. I think it's south.
no.
West. I can't remember.
So which one is it? Who's going for south? Who's going for west? Or who's
It
going
was the
for
west.
No, the south had the sum of units sold more, but they had lesser sum total sales.
All right, then let's clarify whether that is right.
Yeah, they sold 83 and made 5 million.
Exactly. Good. That's very good. Thank you very much for that. That's good. So it was actually the south. Now, off the top of my head, I can tell you that, and this is how data analysts think, right? Off the top of my head, you can basically assume that what made the south have the much volume was because of clothing. Do you agree?
No.
Would you agree that there were more clothing in their sales? That's why they had more volume but lesser value. What do you think?
That's possible.
So
Yeah,
that's-
exactly. What do you say?
Did you know that?
I didn't hear you, Queen.
How did you know that?
Exactly. Because if you look at it, right, clothing has more volume than furniture, But then see what it has just brought, 782,000. And furniture has brought 6 million, which is telling me that this is nearly half of this, but it's bringing more value than this. So off the top of my head, I can assume what the unit price is. So basically, so what I just did right now, I dragged the unit price, I dragged it underneath the category so we can see the various prices of clothing. So we have 5,000, 8,000, and what? 12,000, correct? We have 25,000, we have 80,000, we have 120,000, we have 300,000, correct? And we have 35K, 100K, and 150K. So what does this tell us? Which item has the highest price?
The highest price was still the furniture.
No.
That's electronics.
Electronics, exactly. And what was the highest price?
300,000.
300,000, exactly. Now, if you look at it very well, we're looking at the fact of 300,000 still sold 21 volume. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That means, and 150,000 also sold 21 volume, correct?
Yeah.
So which price sold the highest volume?
Which price sold the highest value? So I see on 12,000. Is that
No,
12,000?
no. As data analyst, you need to pick up things
Sorry.
straight up, completely see them.
56, that's 25,000.
Exactly. So 25,000 under electronics was actually still a big deal. It sold 56, correct? Because you are saying that, Sade, can you see this?
Okay,
So
that's it.
basically, you can see that 56 watt volume for 25,000 watt price.
Right.
Now, basically, it's telling you that oh, okay, the fact is it is still a what? Despite the fact that it was the lowest item, it was lowest price in electronics, it is still the what highest. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
That's the lowest price in electronics, but has the highest
Yeah.
volume.
Exactly. That's a very good. That's a very good assumption. That's good. It's the lowest price in electronics, but it has a very good it's
Volume.
lowest price in electronics, but it has the highest volume. That's very good. So let me just move this price so we don't get all much up because I'm still looking at it from a bed high view. Now, based on category, we're seeing that what clothing, second to the last, electronics, a very big deal to the company. Furniture, shady, but it has value, correct? So now
Yeah.
let's take it away from category, right? Let me look at it based on product. I'm teaching you how to look at things from a bed high view. So I'm putting
Yeah.
the values and I'm measuring them against various metrics. Do you
Indices.
understand? Exactly. So now we have various products under the company. We have desk chairs, we have dining tables, we have headphones, we have jeans, we have laptops, we have shoes, we have smartphones, sofa, tablets, and t-shirts. So ideally, I might just let them just sort it by value. And I have laptop. Laptop is actually what the major sales giver for the company. Is that correct?
No. Okay, yes, that's the largest.
Yeah, it's actually the largest because it has the highest
Total sales.
total sales, exactly, based on the value in itself, not based on the volume, but based on the value. But if we're looking at it based on volume, what would we say?
Headphone.
Exactly, good. Headphones are actually a big deal to the company because they sold 56 of those and they just brought 1.4 million, which is funny because that's actually the highest volume, but just 1.4 million, which is just ranks, let's say, approximately sixth on the total value brought to the company. The funny thing is that the least product that brought anything was just 150,000, and it's actually much 30, but it's just 150,000, which tells the company that is it worth manufacturing t-shirt skills, right?
No.
These are questions you need to have because when you look at the what's the word now? The price collection, or rather the sales of these two, you just question the fact of is it worth producing this much for this value in itself, right? Because you don't expect to sell this much volume and just have this much value. You also need to consider and weigh those against each other. So we have an idea of what is happening based on product. We know that laptops are actually a big deal. Smartphones also are also a big deal also. So far, doing well. We also have tablets. We also have dining tables and headphones, right? Shoes, we have desk chairs, we have jeans, and we have what? T-shirt. Now let's take away the product and let's check another one. So let me just roll through. Let me roll through. Let me look at the payment method, right? I drag payment method here. So we have card, cash, and wire transfer. So ideally, what is this telling us, guys? Any insight?
The cash aspect was high volume. So people prefer to pay in cash rather than doing transfer or using their card.
I didn't get that.
I said cash transaction was of high volume. So which means people prefer to pay in cash rather than using their card or doing the transfer from the bank through the app.
All right, that's good. That's good. That's very good. That's good. So basically, people prefer to don't like electronic transfers.
Yeah.
They prefer what cash and
Cash.
physical. Exactly. That's very good. That's what we're seeing here. It's telling us something about the fact of okay, hey guys, we don't like making electronic transfer. We like what paying in cash. So basically, it's also so you as a business owner, if you have a situation, what are the situations you have to put in place? Tell me.
So for in this situation now, since your customers prefer cash, you have set up more cash, more cashiers to help to manage cash inflow in your business organization.
All right. What else? Thank you.
Probably.
Then, okay.
Yeah, in businesses where there's a lot of cash exchange, it's best you have a store of the various denominations so that the issue of receiving change and all that will not become a problem. So that
That's
means
smart.
they would have a good store.
That's good. That's good. What else?
There should be receipts or invoice. You must have invoice for your customers so that when cash comes in, you will have to give invoice or receipt as a evidence of receiving cash from the customer for documentation.
All right. What else?
Then also for business, because of the current times, business is becoming global. We're going electronically. So you need to encourage your customers to start using electronic means or bank transfer. You need to create awareness for your customers to get engaged. That letting them know that in so time, cash will not be necessary. We won't be receiving cash from customers, and that will also encourage customers to, because if the product are essential and important, customers will definitely inculcate that idea of getting their bank app set up or getting their ATM card ready from their banks.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you very much. Okay, tell me. You want to say something?
Yeah, if you're in Nigeria, you need to create discounts for people that pay with card instead of cash.
Fair enough. That makes sense, actually. That's very insightful. Thank you very much, guys. I think everything you guys said are actually quite innovative and quite something. I think ideally, most times when you have cash establishments, you need to set up safes and one set of security measures because you're receiving cash. So in order for you not to be at a loss, right? In order for you not to what's the word lose, it's best to set up security measures. You need to set up a safe, you need to set up because I mean you're receiving a lot of cash, right? Close to 7.9 million. So you need to set up structures in place wherein if it's every day you're going to the bank, if you're going to put it in a safe and set up the structure to try it. But yeah, thank you guys. But yeah, it's actually quite interesting because in my head I'm wondering why they would want to be so interested in cash. But I mean, it is what it is. So let's take it away from
Okay,
payment.
yeah, concerning like you were wondering, that was what I was looking into. Why are they paying more in cash than cards? So I concluded that definitely he's having more a physical sales point. So
Yeah.
if I advised the business owner there, then I would tell him to like develop an online sales where you encourage clients to get the product through online, and thereby you have more card payments, and then it will save him the cost of maybe getting saves and all the rest, because even with the save, sometimes it attracts thieves and all the rest. So online, online sales could be encouraged also to boost the card payment, because from the number of some units of card payments, so it's obvious that the people do have the taste of using card, but because he's having more of a physical sales point, that's why the cash is more.
All right, good. Thank you, Mr. Fanga. Thank you. That makes sense, actually. Yeah. So let's as we're saying, we're still looking at the bird high view. Let's remove payment method and let's move on to customer type. Yeah. So we have new customers bringing in 13,486,000, and we have our returning customers of both 157 and 8,261,000. Any insights on this?
So what role is that?
Customer type.
Oh, customer type. Okay.
David, I just have something to say
Yeah,
here.
tell me, Chiba.
It is just the number of customers we are seeing returning is a clear they have a good customer relationship, because sometimes customers will know if they were served properly, and they have a good customer relationship. So that's what I can say. And then the number of customers you can see is a bit higher than the new ones.
That's very good.
That's very good. But it can also be as a result of maybe what they wanted at that point in time.
So I would say returning customers have confidence in the product and they love the product. It's doing very well.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense.
The new customers are giving them more total sales. So
so what do you think is happening? What do you think is happening? I mean, because if we're looking at it right, the new customers are not buying as much as them, are not buying in terms of volume as them.
I think I have an idea.
I think well, from these values, it's obvious that they don't have a good marketing strategy. They are doing so much discounts on the returning customer, and as a result, they're having less sum total sales for the returning customer, while the new customer are buying at a higher price. And well, they might be using that strategy to retain more customers, but they are losing money. So
I think I have a strong.
Exactly. I was going to say that. I actually have a different perspective on that. But let me listen. Yeah.
Yeah. So my perspective is that.
Thank you, Mr. Fanga. I'm listening. Tell me, Chinere.
I think the returning customers are buying more of the, everyday goods, reusable goods.
So let's check that.
Have a long.
Let me say something about. Let me say something about returning customers.
I think the best way around it is this, right? Before we look at what Mr. Fanga is saying, I think it's better we look at it this way. Let me just reduce this so we can all have an insight on this. So look at this. What do you think now?
It actually does make sense. Shit. 07. Headphones. Yeah, I think because if you look at it, headphones seem to be the most numerous, and the reason is because of, it's something that I don't know. It's rare to see someone who has used a single headphone for like a year. Usually, maybe something that you use for a couple of months, and either you break it or someone takes it, and then you have to buy a new one. And and it seems not that expensive, but there are goods that if you buy it once, it tends to last longer. So I'm seeing it this way, that the old customers, have gotten those, goods like laptop, desk, and they've kept it. It's not spoiled yet, so they don't have a reason to buy it again. So what they're now going for is the, goods that, have a very short, lifespan. So, but the newer ones tend to go for, so the pattern we're going to notice is that after the newer ones have spent so much, with time, they would become like the old guys, start going after the, goods that have shorter lifespan. So I think the pattern actually makes sense, though.
That's good.
So
Yeah.
I also think that, returning customers, they probably are buying from somewhere else too. Probably the prices here is different from that other price. They might also go get it somewhere else and buy things that they feel that the price is still relative here. But the new ones, those things, they just buy.
Guys, if we look at this, right, thank you guys for what you're saying. If we look at this, right, would you realize something that in the products we have, there's just one product here that is a product that you can use for a very long time. Is that correct? That when you buy, the possibility of you buying it concurrently is very low. What product is that?
Laptop.
Now, if you look at the both of them together, you realize that the returning customers never bought laptops, correct?
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? That tells you that what? That's why I was kind of going to go against what Mr. Fanga said, because if I look at it very well, I understand the fact of they don't need to buy a laptop because I assume they already have a laptop. That's why they are returning. So they are returning because they've gotten a laptop. Hence, they will need to get the everyday things like the shoes, the smartphones, tablets, things like that, right? Now, if you remove now this new customers, right? That's 6.3. If you add it to what the returning customers did, you realize that both of them are nearly the same. So that means the only thing differentiating the two of them is actually the laptop. So I will not despise their marketing. I actually think they're doing a very good marketing because despite the fact of they're having returning customers, they are still able to market the fact of people getting laptops. Hence, they are using that as a selling point and they're using that to make up a lot of their numbers. Because if you look at the fact of if they did not have new customers that are buying laptops, then they would definitely not have made this extent of money. Are you getting me now? So there is a very big plus on the fact of there's very big argument on the fact of the marketing strategy is actually doing quite well. Because if you can still get 21 laptops to be sold from new customers, come on, you're doing something right. Because that means that despite the fact of your returning customers are not getting laptops, you are still able to reach out to people to get, or rather, these returning customers might be, referring you guys to other people. Hence, you're getting laptops. You're still getting laptop orders, right? Which is actually the major selling point in this company. If this company wants to crash or whatever, if they remove laptop, everything is finished. Do we agree?
Yeah.
Exactly. Does anyone want to say anything?
I think that's it. That's it.
All right, good. All right. Let me continue with what I'm going for. So we're still looking at it from a bed high view, right? Let me remove the customers. I'm just going to drag this out. Sorry, what's wrong with my cursor today? Oh God, what's wrong with my cursor? So let's look at it from a salesperson perspective, right? So you know what? I think I want to do this based on region. I didn't expect clothing to be in the same region. Oh, they're selling to the same region. So
David.
Yeah, I'm listening. Tell me.
So David.
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening to you.
I'm trying to understand how you were partitioning them based on that the one you just analyzed now. You were able to list the product of new customers separate and the product
I said that. So let's say, for example, let's say I have salesperson here, right? Let's say I want to know the products these salespersons have done. I would just drag the product under this thing, under the salesperson, to see it to be like this.
Okay, you can put them two together. You can put the two together.
Yes, you can put together. Yes, you can to break it. So, but just note that the first one you do is what will be the placeholder. Then second one will be the distribution under that particular thing.
Okay, that's why I want to. So that means two can go in that role.
Yes, 2, 3, 4, anything to go.
Even 5.
Yeah, to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
So
wondering how you were able to separate them.
no, so two can go and yeah. So guys, tell me what are you saying here?
This
Is that
one
the
didn't-
salesperson? Is that the salesperson that did
Okay,
the number?
sales rep.
Yes.
So we're looking at
David, sorry.
performance.
Sort it, please.
Performance of each sales rep.
Okay, sorry, sort it.
Chima, you wanted to ask me something?
Just help us sort it so that it will be easier for us to.
Okay. Oh, sorry about that.
So I see 49 as the grace.
Yeah. Thank you.
Really so all right. I get the few.
Anything? Everyone is quiet.
What do you say?
I say everyone is quiet. What is happening?
You've not said anything now. We're waiting for you.
Oh no, I was telling you guys that what you have to say. That's what I was like. I was waiting for you guys to speak.
Okay, what do we have to say concerning this particular table?
Yeah.
I was saying that we're looking at the performance of each of the sales rep based on units sold. So what did they generate to the company?
Exactly.
So even though Fatima did not sell more units, but she's has the largest total sales. Meanwhile,
Fatima is units. That unit here is 42. So it has the highest units of sales. Sorry, is that 49 or somewhere?
Yeah, there is 49.
Okay, that means 49.
At the most unit sales, but it's still not compared to what Fatima did. So Fatima is still the one performing more
Revenue. So what that indicates that the product Fatima was selling has higher price, but there are some products that are of high prices. That's what sum up the revenue generated to at that high amount.
Fatima sold more of the new product, not the returning.
Yeah, that's if we compare with the product, that's when you know that. But from this graph, it says Fatima is performing more than Samuel.
What are we saying? What do you guys think?
Yeah, we're saying that Fatima sold more of the long duration products like laptop, headphones, tablets, and less of t-shirts. Yeah.
So maybe we should just clarify so we're on the right page. I'm just gonna put the category underneath everyone. Is our suggestion, are we right?
Loading that.
I think there was an Ngozi. Ngozi is not seen anywhere here.
Ngozi is down. Let me find her. Yes, yeah.
without wasting so much time, I think I would like to say that Ngozi sold more value than every other person, even though she sold very few products as per few units of. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm listening. Tell me.
Yes, I mean she sold more value.
More value?
Yes, she sold about only five units, but she was able to make about 600,000.
Oh.
So
No,
focused on the high value product like the electronics.
it's supposed to be high.
That's why sales is small.
But then I
She sold
think
few units. She sold few units, but her total sales is high because she sold just 5 units electronics and she's having a 600,000.
So she didn't basically care about the fact of all the other ones. She just basically wanted to get
Okay.
the.
Can I say something?
Yeah, tell me.
Okay. I think the products that are being sold are the products that is of high demand. So meaning electronics is on high demand. When we look at other electronics, she sold 30 electronics. And then when we go into Fatima sold 31 electronics.
Okay.
This person, even Ngozi that did not do well, at least she managed to sell 5. Peter sold 14, Samuel sold 22, and Tunde sold 10. So I think electronics is of high demand. That's why you see the prices, like people sold more of it, irrespective of what they're selling as well. And then it all depends on the strategy as well they use in selling their products. So every individual, every sales rep had their different strategy at which they use in selling their products, irrespective of the price. So then comes to I think this Samuel did well, but he is not matched to Fatima. It's not of any match to Fatima. So Fatima still did better when it comes to the electronics that is of high demand than every other person. Clothing is not a demanding, is of low demanding. So that's why clothing sold less in all of them. Yeah.
All right, I think that makes complete sense too. But you know what? I agree totally with you. I think for us also give much perspective in this, I would prefer to remove the category and let's see them from a region perspective.
Okay, you are adding region to it?
Yes.
Well, I need to ask question, Mr. David. How your own is, everything is in one, but my own is creating more column rather than just maintaining one row. I mean,
But
rather than
did
maintaining
you drag it underneath it?
Yes, I'm dragging it under, or I'm just placing it inside the box.
I'm not dragging mine. I just click and it picked. I'm still on the same page.
Exactly, but I said you guys should drag it. Make sure you drag it. That's what I'm saying. So
if I drag it, should I take it down?
Drag it to the rows section.
And the rows, that's what I'm doing. Let me.
Yeah. So guys, what can you say about it?
Okay.
Stop that noise.
What are you saying, guys?
Yeah, it's obvious that electronics were more in high demand in the South.
In the south?
Yes, check from Fatima. Fatima sold 19 units of sales.
Fatima is in West.
That's
No,
Fatima.
Fatima,
Okay, South,
no,
South. Okay, South. Okay.
no, but also let's not forget that South had they're the ones that had the highest volume but lesser products, like lesser value products.
Yeah.
That's why I don't believe it's South.
Highest volume, lesser value. Let me check.
Yes.
The way yours is displaying is not.
Remember when we were looking at the pact of the ones that have the highest volume but lesser value?
Yes.
So guys, what are we saying? Everybody's quiet.
Yeah, we're looking at it.
Okay.
For me, somewhere we are 49. Understand? Was it that somewhere?
I think I observed something.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, it's not that very consistent, but I feel that those who actually made who created more value in terms of both, selling more products and also making more income, covered a wider region. Like they try to get sales from the different region, even though it's not that very consistent. But I'm looking at Fatima, based on what we did previously, we saw that she was, one of the very top. So looking at her, she consistently tried to create, you know, sell products in the different regions. That means trying to capture whatever customer base rather than focusing on a particular region. She tried to spread her net across the various regions. So I think that's why she was more successful than the other ones, even though Emeka concentrated on 2 regions, but and then even made more sales in those regions. But for the fact that Fatima had to include another region, she performed better than he did.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Chimera. So I did it right. The entire purpose of this is just so you guys understand how to ask questions and all. One more thing to look at is you need to look at the date side of things. Let me just write dates here. So we have dates here. So this is just the month data, right? And you can just, so what I'll do is I just whenever I see data, I prefer to analyze it based on trends. So what I can do is I'll just do this, insert, recommend line. Yeah, just phase and line chart when it comes to dates. So maybe you guys can look at this, then tell me what you think. Guys, can you see this? So any insight? Because so this is basically the best way to show like day-on-day movements. I already have an assumption on some things that are happening, but I want to so that you can spot them. Yeah. Tell
More
me.
sales was at the end of the month on 28th.
28th?
Yeah, 28th of July.
28th of July is 10th. They sold 10. See it here. I think payment date based on sum of units, so maybe this will help.
Very tiny.
Yeah, it's very tiny, that's why. So just use, don't worry, just use the sum of total sales.
The date, sum of units. Struggling to
On
find it.
the 11th of
You know what? Maybe I
July.
should before I think with the graph is confusing, guys. Let me just stick here. Guys, look at it too.
Yeah. Did you sort it, David?
No, okay, let me just I don't sort this because I wanted you guys to see first too. Do you get?
Okay, because I started my own and I'm looking at it from this. Yeah, they had more sales on, that was 37. They had more sales on 11th of July. And it was 251. But still, on 28th, they had less sales, but made more money.
Okay.
I was trying to see if there's a kind of 7-day, increase in tower, but it wasn't that consistent because I wanted to check if customers prefer to make purchases during the weekend. But it had that kind of trend, but it's not very consistent across. But there is a pattern to the sum of the total sales made. There is a high and a low, a high and a low, a high and a low. So I was looking at to see if it's occurred within a 7-day interval, but it's not that very uniform. So if I'm to, given something like this, I would, investigate more, ask more questions. Why, are we having that high and low pattern? Are they things that happen on a certain day, or that influences, that makes people come around more and buy? I'll try to dig deeper. But yeah, there's a pattern. There is up, and instead of seeing an upward trend or a downward trend or a uniform trend, you are seeing a rise to the peak and a fall, and another rise to the peak and a fall, and another rise to the peak and a fall, showing that people buy and at some point they'll stop
They want to
buying
open the door, somebody's at
and
the door.
then buy again. At some point they'll kind of slow down, and then they'll increase again and they'll slow down. So
Mm,
Not.
mm. I mean, generally, that's actually that makes a lot of sense. I'm just looking at the pact of. I feel like I'm suspicious about a lot of things. I find it troubling that on 28th of the month, you guys sold 3 million. That's the highest you guys did.
When
So that means
salaries,
that. What do you say?
when salaries were
What do you say?
when salaries were paid.
Fair, fair enough. I'm not going to argue that. It's just troubling because I feel like, working in companies like this, right? Most times companies tend to run a lot of credits around this time of the month simply because they're trying to meet a target, right? So that in itself could be suspicious, which is something like most times when I see something like that, I just know that something is really, really fishy, literally. So that's also something to take note of. All right, guys, thank you for this. So what I want you to do for me is this, right? I am sending a document to the chat. I want you to just I want you to look at it, right? Give you 15 minutes approximately. Look at it, get your feedback. I'm going to give everyone like 2 minutes approximately. Just tell me the insights they got from that data, right? Then we'll just clear it up. Thank you.
Before David,
Yeah, tell me.
forgot that you promised us that today we'll sort out this our Excel issue.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry about that. We can't do that today. Can we do that tomorrow, please? I'm so sorry about that. I totally forgot. You should have told me from the
Because-
beginning, actually. Please,
Because
sorry
the
about that.
Excel I'm using now is not working the way your own is working. That is arranging that thing in one column. It's creating different columns for each of
No,
the.
are you dragging it into the rows?
It's dragging. If I drag the same way you drag it onto the row section, it will just create another column. It will not maintain one straight column.
Are you dragging it to rows or columns?
I'm dragging it to rows, not column. You want me to drag it to column?
No.
It's rows.
All right, no
Everything's
problem.
on
Tomorrow.
rows.
All right, no problem. Tomorrow. All right. Thank you. 15 minutes, guys. Thank you.
So we should do an analysis of the one you sent on the this now.
Yes. Yeah. All right.